Hi guys, it's Sam and welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're new around here, then my name is Sam and I'm the founder of a company called UK Mortgage Centre. On this channel, I share insights into the mortgage market for first-time buyers, to people remortgaging, purchases, protection, buy-to-let, insurance and even lifetime mortgages. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 lessons that I learned when buying my first home, however long ago that was. Anyway, so if you're interested in learning about buying your first home, then I highly recommend you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The best part, if you decide to do it, is that we upload a new video every single Monday. And if you're not interested in mortgages, then you're in the wrong place. Anyway, I've gone into enough of this intro, so let's get to the video. So lesson number 1 is rushing into making an offer. I wish I had researched house prices in the area, and if I did, I'd have had a better idea of the prices in the area and made a much more realistic offer. Now looking back, I think it would have put me in a better stead for bidding wars because I would have put my best offer forward and made sure I was serious about that property. And used my first time buy position as leverage instead of jumping higher and higher each time if I got asked I could offer more. Lesson 2 is working out a realistic budget. Now I really underestimated the cost of living, like it really does add up. I wasn't prepared at all. I mean, I had my deposit, sure, and I had some saving reserves, but definitely nowhere near enough looking back to get me into that property. You know, luckily I didn't have to pay stamp duty, otherwise I'd been living on the floor for a month, which I pretty much did anyway, so it was a bit of a stretch. But I'd advise anyone, the more that you can save after your, say, 10% deposit, the better. You know, I went in thinking I could renovate the house with 10 grand and it just didn't go to plan. We overspent, and I didn't have the resources, so I had to go and put some money on a credit card. So make sure you've got extra funds available. Lesson number 3 is all about compromising. As a first-time buyer, I had this dream house in my head and I was never going to deviate that as my first home. But it's not to say that you won't, because everyone's circumstances are totally different. But in my case, I wasn't. So I had to adjust my expectations. And it was my fault because I looked at these £1 million houses with swimming pools and hot tubs thinking I could afford it. How naive. So what I would say is if you wanted to avoid this, then get your agreement in principle first, or at least know the affordability before you even start looking at houses. So you've got a realistic expectation going into these viewings and the overall process. And finally, the last lesson. So picking the right solicitor. Now I feel like this is slightly a bit of a sensitive subject and I don't know why, I just do. You know, I went with the first one that I Googled and looking back, I think it would have been simpler and easier if I'd have just done a little bit more research as to who was going to be my solicitor. Now the right property solicitor will efficiently and proactively drive the property purchase through to completion. They'll help you to negotiate the best possible deal on what's probably the most expensive purchase that you've ever made. They'll advise you of any problems that come to light as a result of property searches and what to do in case of any legal issues. They're experienced in handling property contracts and know what to look for in the small print. Now, as a first-time buyer, it is especially important to find a solicitor who's going to happily answer any questions that you have, because you're probably going to have an awful lot. If a solicitor has been friendly and helpful during your initial inquiries, then you know that they're likely to be helpful during that conveyancing process. Now, I know I've pretty much talked the socks off you again at this point, and there's a lot of information to retain, but if you found this video helpful, do me a favour, give it a little thumbs up. And don't forget to check out our first-time buy guide, which is free to download on our website. Just click on the link in the description box, and this guide is full of useful tips, tricks, and insights into the new market as a first-time buyer. Any questions, give me a shout, but I'll see you next time.